All right, I'm here with Coach Chris Bono. Coach, congratulations on your induction into the Florida Wrestling Hall of Fame.
Thank you.
And what does it mean to be inducted into the Florida Wrestling Hall of Fame?
It's an unbelievable honor. You really reminisce about everything that has transpired in your life, and when you get honored by your state where it all started, it really is something special. And all the years of high school and the youth, and to be recognized again where it all started is just something very, very special.
Very cool. Well, I want you to take us back in time to when you started wrestling. How old were you? Who got you into it? Who's had that, how did this all come about?
So I started when I was 5 years old in Philadelphia. They back then the schools would put something in your backpack that just basically said wrestling registration tonight, 5 o'clock at the high school. So when Mom took all your stuff out of your backpack, you saw that. And I was lucky enough to have an older brother, and he said he wanted to do it, but it was like for ages 8 and up, and I was 5 years old. So I wasn't able to sign up. And my brother went, and of course I tagged along. And then my dad basically left. And he let me stay there. Told me to sit in the corner and watch, and your mother's gonna kill me, but you stay here and don't move. And my dad drove home, and Mom said, "Where's the little guy?" And he said, "I left him there." And so my dad drove back, and when he got there, he thought someone took me. I wasn't where I was supposed to be. And then when he looked out, I was on the wrestling mat wrestling. And lucky enough, the coach of that program ran over and told my dad to give him $5 more, and you could sign me up as well.
How long? Do you remember how long you sat there before you ended up on the mat?
No, I don't. I don't think it was too long. I remember it was just an odd number of people, and there was someone my size. And the coach said, "Hey, come over here and let this guy do something to you, and do a move." Or, I was more of a dummy for the first little bit, and then I just fell in love with it right then and there.
Very cool. Well, you've had an illustrious career, throughout both in high school and in college and beyond. Is there a most memorable moment for you?
I don't know if I've had a most, right? I think I can give you a most memorable moment in each time of my life, right?
That's great.
Sometime in, growing up when I wasn't able to compete because there were no junior high programs, there was really nothing. You had to wait till the summertime, but I got to train at the high school level. Those were memorable moments when, I got my first takedown on maybe a high school kid when I was in 4th grade. Mm-hmm. And then you think, oh, wow, this is pretty good. And then you get beat up for the next 6 months, and then you go win the, USA stuff because you've been training with tougher people. And then you get into the high school, winning, placing as a 7th grader was a big deal, and then winning my first state title, and then wrapping up the career with the last one was something. And then you get to college, and just making the team, and I didn't think I was going to make the team as a freshman, and then your first All-American, and then the national championship. So they're all moments. Then it goes international. First time I beat a world champion, first time I beat an Olympic champion. Those are all very, very memorable things. But I can tell you it's something I really have not sat down and really looked and have said, what's the most memorable moment? Because I'm still in the game. It's hard for me to think about myself and what we've done, because I'm in the business of helping others achieve what their goals are, and it's just hard for me to really sit down and look back on what I've done. It's just, I don't know, maybe I don't want to, right? Maybe I still think there's some hope that it's not over.
Yeah, no, I totally understand. Thinking back to a younger Chris Bono, is there somebody you idealized?
You know what, I didn't. I get that question a lot.
Okay.
But you got to remember, back in the day, first of all, wrestling-wise, we never got to see wrestling on TV. We never got to see wrestling on the internet. I remember my first college wrestling match.
There was no internet.
Right, that's right. I remember the first college wrestling match I saw, it was Arizona State, and I remember my dad waking me up to come down. It was on at midnight or something. And look at this, it's on TV. And then the first time I got to see it live was at a national tournament. I think in 1989, Coach Morris drove me up to Maryland to watch the national. So I really didn't have those idols wrestling-wise. I've always looked up to, my brother who, was always doing things, and I want to be like that. But I really, it's kind of weird, but I never really had somebody I idolized. But I followed a lot of people, and
Sure. If you were to kind of analyze yourself as a younger, athlete and everything else, is there a personal attribute that you had that you embodied that helped you be successful?
Yeah, I think I was very competitive. It is one thing that, in everything. I wanted to win lifting weights. I was one of the smaller guys. I couldn't lift, and I would be upset when I'd leave. I'd try to win a run, and I couldn't win the run because but competitive. I tried to show up every day in practice and compete. And that was, when I look back on it, that was one thing that as a coach now, people that love to compete and want to compete and will compete in everything they do, those are the guys that actually, become a lot more successful than, the average guy.
Yeah, no doubt. As a coach now, is there something that you try to that you've learned over the course of the time that you're trying to teach your athletes?
You know what? At this level in college, these guys are coming in. They've already got a ton of goals. They've already got kind of set in their ways. But what you try to teach them is it's just to, how can you become the best version of yourself every single day? Mm-hmm. And that that takes hard work. That takes discipline. That takes sacrifice. And it's every single day. It's not when you feel like doing it. And when we can get kids to buy in and do that, they really do become the best versions of themselves.
Yeah. If you had an opportunity to look back in time and you could change something, first, is there anything you would change? And if you would, what would that be?
I would change that, the elimination of the Southeastern Conference, getting rid of Division I wrestling.
Yeah.
I had to graduate from high school and move away to go to school, and I've never been back. And that's why moments like these are special. I would have done anything. Now that I see it, and now that I recruit, now I see, the hometown kid, the home state kid, how much better it could have been, or wrestling at the University of Florida or Florida State, right, or Miami. How great would that have been with all these people that I haven't seen now in 30 years?
Right.
All in your corner, and instead of all the people you competed against in high school turn and cheer for you, wrestling for your home state. So I would have. That's the one thing. But personally, would I have changed? I wouldn't have changed anything about my career. I just believe I didn't get to, really reach what I wanted to do with being a world Olympic champion. But in getting there and doing the things and failing has made me who I am. So, yeah. Right, I wouldn't want to change and say I would have wanted to be an Olympic champion, because I probably wouldn't be who I am. And so it's made me, the sport, the journey has made me who I am today.
Can you talk a little bit about the influence of your brother, Coach Morris, on your development as a young man?
Yeah, for sure. That was all I had. I was in 4th grade when I moved down here, and there was no partners, there was no junior high wrestling, there was no youth wrestling. So It was my brother and Coach Morris. That's all I had. And I can tell you, over Christmas breaks, days off, summers, it was just us three. And that's all I had. So those guys made me who I was, and that's what made me, the tough and competitive, because I wasn't taking down either one of those guys. I wasn't ever scoring points. When we lifted, I was always the little runt. When they ran, they left me behind, and that's really what made me and drove me. And so it was, from 4th till my brother went away in 10th grade. Then it just became, Coach Morris and I traveling the country, taking me. I had to drill with him and get weight off, and out in western Montana before an AAU national tournament, and
right.
Taking trains across the country, just him and I. And there's those guys made me, and to this day we all have a really, really tight bond.
So last question I have for you is, what would you like for people to remember about Chris Bono, the athlete, Chris Bono, the coach, Coach Bono, or just you in general?
Yeah, as an athlete, right? Just somebody that did it the right way, and left everything out there every single time, and absolutely did not cheat any corners whatsoever to become the best version of himself. As a coach, the thing that I want is to make sure these guys, when it's all said and done, know that I loved them, I cared about them, and it's way more than winning and losing, even though in the moment everybody thinks it's not. When you're looking back and these guys are getting married and having children and you're in their weddings and you're getting that's really what it's all about, is making sure that you form the relationships and you do those things. And then as a person, just somebody that's always tried to be the best version of himself, treating people right. And sometimes it doesn't happen, and you have these little things, but at the end of the day, I just try to be the best person I can and treat people the way they want to be treated.
Very good. Well, Coach, I want to say congratulations on your induction into the Florida Wrestling Hall of Fame, and I want to wish you the best of luck in the future.
Thank you very much.
All right.
All right, thank you. That's an unbelievable introduction. I really appreciate it. To my fellow inductees, what an honor it is. Congratulations to go in with a class like this. It's truly an honor. Thank you to the board for this prestigious honor. It is always nice to come back to where you start and be recognized. I left at 18 years old to go away to school, to college, and you know I've been fortunate enough to be able to make a living in this sport, and but I truly wish that I was able to come back more and really give back a little bit. And you know, it's such an honor. I haven't seen people in 30 years, 40 years that I see tonight, and the stories that are told, and the respect that we have for each other is just unbelievable. So again, I can't thank you enough. Obviously, you don't get places without people helping you. And I look around the room and I just look at people that have helped me get to where I've gotten. And I'm lucky enough tonight, right? I'll just tell you a quick little story. I'm sitting over here with Coach Laxton, bitter rival in high school, right? Those guys in the green tights from Swanee used to kick our butts all the time. And I'll never forget it. I was in 5th grade. I had nowhere to train. There was no junior high wrestling. There was no club wrestling. And I was lucky enough that Coach Morris at Bowles would let me, I might be getting him in trouble. I don't know if there were rules then, but he let a little 5th grader train with the high school team. And I'll never forget it. We went on a dual meet to go wrestle at Swanee. And Coach Morris got with Coach Laxton and said, hey, I got this little 5th grader. You got any, young kids at his weight that you can get an exhibition match in? And before a high school duel, Coach found some kid that I got to wrestle and be able to get a match because there was nowhere to wrestle around. I couldn't get any matches. And Coach Laxton threw a kid out there and I was able to get a match as a 5th grader in a high school environment. So you just look at things like that. A bitter rival has helped me in 5th grade to be able to get a match and realize, there is some competition, and for that, I'm always grateful to you, Coach. And in hindsight, he called me the other day because I didn't get my memorabilia down there and he ripped my butt. So I appreciate everybody. I'm not going to be long. I just want to say one thing. I have a hidden agenda. I really, truly believe there needs to be Division I wrestling in Florida at the college level. In the last few years, I've really been adamant about getting some college athletic matches down here. We did one in Jacksonville a couple years ago. We weren't able to do it. Too many of these kids want to get paid to compete in these events, right? Oh, by the way, Case, right? Tulsa champ, Reno World, $500,000 NIL deal if you sign tonight to Wisconsin. All right, done. You might be selling yourself short because in 5 years when he's in college, it's probably 2.5. Sign it. But we're trying to get this thing done. We'll probably let the cat out of the bag a little too soon, but we're going to be down here in Orlando with 4 Division I teams in December at the knockout tournament. All college coaches that have ties to Florida. So I'll let you guys figure that out. I don't want to give you the 4 teams, but all these coaches will be down here December 21st at the knockout tournament, so we can promote this Division I wrestling and try to get some Division I wrestling back in the state. I see a lot of people in here. Gene Mills is hard at work getting programs started. I know Coach Spates is getting programs. So let's try to let's rally behind this and try to knock down some Division I schools here. Again, guys, thank you so much. I appreciate all the love. There's nothing better when you go around the country and you see somebody from Florida at a tournament, or you see somebody at the national tournament represent the state of Florida. We started this thing here, all as high school kids, young kids. It would be nice to get some college programs back where we can end our careers and get this thing going. So again, thank you guys very much. I appreciate everybody.